Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Total Fitness Tuesday, and today's routine, if you don't know already, is the 100 rep challenge part 2. Suspiciously low turnout in the studio this morning, although after yesterday, probably don't blame a few people. Now, it is tough, but you only can do what you can do. And remember, this only rolls around once every 4 months. Next time, what, 3.5 months. Next time you do it, it's going to be Christmas. So, what you've done today, that's it. You won't see it for a while. Although they do roll around quick, don't they? It's amazing. Yeah, 100 rep challenge. So if you've not done these before, it's very high volume. It's going to really test the lactic threshold of each muscle group. So you've got 5 minutes to do 100 reps of each chosen exercise. They're all fundamental exercises, so it's a good chance to run over the form and function of each one. However, every minute that bell's going to go and you're going to do some burpees. Okay? The number of burpees, again, depends on the individual. I'll go through all the details shortly. You're going to need a kettlebell. We're doing some deadlifts, the very first one, and some light hand weights, some shoulder presses, stuff like that. You're doing 100 reps, remember, you're not going to need a massive amount of weight, honestly. Right, let's get warmed up, and then I'll go through more detail. We're going to start with deadlift, okay? And you are doing 100 reps, so you don't want to be whacking loads of weight on, okay? I'm just going to use my 20 kettlebell. I'll go a little bit heavier, that's up to you. We keep it heel level at pick-up point. So remember, the main two things for deadlift is to get the hips externally rotated. Okay, that. You don't be there, you don't be there. Okay? Knees out. Armpits closed. Okay, so it'll be like this. The worst possible position would be like that, wouldn't it? Okay, the next way you want to be. See the difference? That's bad. That's good. Okay, there, and you just hinge. Down, hinge, don't squat your deadlift. Hinge. So the hips stay relatively high as opposed to your squat, where your hips drop deep. So this is our posterior chain, legs. So the bell goes, every time that bell goes, including the first minute but not including the last, you're going to do a set number of burpees. I'm doing 5, you may choose 4 or 3 or even 2 if you're a beginner. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So I'm doing 5 burpees as quick as I can. Okay, then I'm going to start my count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say I get to 23. And the bell goes again. I do my 5 burpees. And then I carry on from where I left off. So it's important you keep that running total. If I do get to 100, you're doing split jacks today. This is back off exercise. You're still working. It's nice and light. On your toes, nice and steady. And you're still doing those burpees even if you finish before that last bell. Okay? That's it really. Pace yourself. With the legs you'll get away with all more or less working to the bell because your legs have got a high lactic threshold, they carry you around everywhere all day long. Your shoulders and your triceps and these sort of muscles, different story. So I advise really on all of them Don't go above 25 for sure. If you get 25 reps, I'll probably just stop. And even 20 on some of the upper body ones, I would probably limit it to 20. Otherwise, you'll hit that lactic wall and you'll never recover. Okay? Just bear it in mind. Okay, right, 100 reps you're aiming for. At the very least, just keep the exercise going. If you think, no, I'm not going to do 100, your first time doing it, just keep it going steady throughout the time, okay? Right. Let's begin then. We set that timer. So let's get deadlifts out of the way. 100 deadlifts. Starting with your burpees. 3, 2, want to put them away to one side. Right, our next one is lunges. Fundamentals here, lunges. Right, we're doing 100 reps. So you only need your body weight, honestly. Take it from me. Particularly if you're using the best possible form you can, which ideally, watch this carefully, toe, knee, hip, shoulder. Okay, these lines, they stay in line. So I'm going to lunge from this position, and I'm going to stay in that position. My feet should never be in this space here. Okay, it's always here. Imagine you stood on train tracks, stay on the train tracks. Okay, I know those of you who have said it a million times. Once it gets in there, that's it. Okay, so look, when I'm lunging, look. Okay, I'm keeping that distance. I'm not doing this. That's where all this instability comes from. If you've got internal rotation, it will be even worse. Keep an eye, most people when they start these sort of things have got some internal rotation. So you guys perfectly got the mirror in here. At home, just try and keep an eye on that knee. So when you lunge in, it needs to stay in that nice straight line. If this is happening, I want you to really focus on taking that out. Okay? So all you're going to do is there, again, range is everything. If you can, you literally just not drop into the floor, kiss the floor, you just feel your knee. Still the tension's not lost, but you're getting maximum depth. If you can't get that depth, that's fine, but always work towards it eventually. Never rule it out or think, oh, I haven't got that depth or I can't do it. Because you will with time, practice with mobility. So, alternate bodyweight lunge, 100 total, not 100 each leg. That would be insane. I'm just going to go for 100 total. Burpees again. Okay, exactly the same template. And again, if you do get done, split jacks. Now this is very much the anterior. We're doing forward lunges. So it's the quads that will initiate that push back from the front. So let's do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't need to get lost so much. I took a couple wrong turns, but I learned the right ones are harder to find. We were trying to fly, chasing up highs and riding the lows. We just can't let go. There's something in these moments, 'cause nights like these.
Brilliant, well done, everyone. You're joining us fresh. This is our 100 rep challenge. Part 2, we're trying to get to 100 reps of these exercises within 5 minutes. But the bell goes every minute, and we have to stop and do 5 burpees, well, or 4 or 3, depending on what you've chosen and your level of fitness. We've done deadlift, we've done lunges, we've done prone fly for pull, we've done shoulder press for push, we've done another type of push now for arms. 2 left, by the way. Tricep extension. Dumbbells again. You can go double or single. Again, remember, don't underestimate it. 100 reps. It's a lot of volume. Compounded by the fact you've just worked them with your shoulders. And also, every time you do a burpee, you work with your triceps. So bear that in mind. Right, you can either do what I do. I've got 10 kilos by putting my 2 5 kilos together. I'm going to come all the way down. This is my measuring point. Traps, full lock. Traps, full lock. Okay, again, don't go too high. We'll hit that lactic wall quick with triceps as well. Okay. Ready to give it a go then? Same principle. Burpees on the bar. We're on the last 2 now. Well done, everyone. And again, if you do get done 100, we're on split jacks just to keep your heart rate up. Okay, we go. Ready?
'Cause nights like these, I
That's it. You won't see that again now till Christmas time, just after. So that's a nice Christmas treat to look forward to. Right, we've got total mobility coming up in just a couple of minutes. Stretch and relax for half an hour and you'll float out of the room, I promise you. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. If not, I'll see you tomorrow, 9:30. Well done, everybody. Yeah, it was, Trace. Well done. Good to have you on board. See you all